بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله الأمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We are continuing our discussion, our study of Umdatul Ahkaam, and today we have hadith number 263. Who would read that for us, please? Yes, brother.
Abu Masud al-Ansari radiallahu anhu reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade the charging of price of the dog and the earnings of a prostitute and the fee, that is sweets, offered to a kahin, that is a fortune teller.
Okay, this hadith, very short. I believe it's very clear, and it falls under the things that are not permitted to be sold or bought. The first one is that the Prophet ﷺ forbade the price of a dog. And if you remember, we discussed in the very beginning of the series that there are 7 conditions for the sales to be accepted. Now, one of them is that it should be permissible, useful, without any necessity. So permissible means that you cannot sell something that's haram. Someone sells cigarettes. This is forbidden because the condition is not being fulfilled. It has to be useful. So if I sell you something that has no use, if someone says, I need 3 kilograms of cockroaches, what are you going to do with them? I just like them. No, this selling it is not permissible because it is not useful. And it has to be without necessity, because sometimes you are allowed to use something but only for necessity, as in the case of dead meat. You're in the desert and you don't have any food and you will die because you'll starve to death, and the only thing is available a dead donkey or a cow that died by itself. No one slaughtered it. This is haram for us to consume, as you know. So is it permissible for me to eat it, or should I die? No, Allah tells us that this is permissible for the person who is in distress, who's in need. So there are things that are permissible only in need. In normal day-to-day life, if someone tells you, Akhi, have a piece of a donkey's meat. Very good. I said, no, haram. Someone says, okay, well, try this pork, try this bacon, try this pepperoni, whatever they have names of it. I said, no, this is haram. So also among the things that you cannot buy or sell, the things that are used only in necessity. And the scholars give the example of a dog. So dogs, are we permitted to own them and keep them? No, unless in cases specified by the Sharia, by the Prophet ﷺ. 1, as in the case of hunting. 2, a shepherd dog. I have cattle, I have sheep, I have herds of animals, and I need a shepherd dog to protect them from the wolves or from someone stealing them. 3, a dog that is used to guard a farm. And likewise, if a person needs a dog to guard his big house, but this you have to be very careful, because nowadays in places that people have money, they keep dogs just to show off. So I have 2 dogs to guard my building, to guard my house. Why keep dogs? You can put an alarm system and this does the job. And why do you need dogs if the entire neighborhood is safe and no one breaks into your house? This is not permissible unless there is a necessity. Other than that, can we keep dogs? If I keep a dog, what will happen? Danger of rahmah, the reward lost every day. How much of reward? It is equivalent to the weight of Mount Uhud. Every day deducted from your good deeds. Good deeds of Mount Uhud, I barely have a small rock of good deeds. So if this is deducted from my good deeds, this means that I will have no good deeds at all. So it's a very severe thing to do. Now, this is understood, inshallah. The hadith is telling us, even in cases that it is permissible for you to use a dog, it is not permissible for you to sell it. And the price of selling it is haram. If I cannot sell it, how can I get it? Scholars say that this is easy. It can be given to you as a gift. But selling it and buying it is forbidden. So if I have a farm and I need a dog, I'll go to my neighbor. He has 2 or 3 dogs and they have 5 or 6 puppies. He doesn't need the puppies, so he said, take one. Taking one is permissible. Selling it and buying it is not permissible. Is this the general rule? Scholars say yes, but sometimes it is necessary for you to have a dog, and no one is willing to give you a dog without selling it. In this case, for you to buy it is halal. For him to sell it is haram. It is forbidden totally. Is this understood and explained, inshallah, in a way that you understand? So the price is forbidden. Only dogs? Why dogs? What about other animals? Like fish, like birds? No, these are halal. You have no problem with that. And this is what all of us have to understand as students of knowledge. There is something called in Arabic, and it's very difficult to translate to English. It's called al-bara'atul asliyah. What is al-bara'atul asliyah in Arabic? It means that everything we see has a ruling. So, if I say, what's the ruling on using this table? The answer would be halal. I said, bring me your evidence. The evidence is known as al-bara'atul asliyah, meaning that everything is halal. Allah says in the Quran that He has created to us everything we see, and this means that everything is halal. So anyone asks you a question, what is the ruling on that? You would automatically say, as long as you do not know that it is haram, you don't have any reason to doubt. You say it's halal. Now one says, what's the ruling on wearing a watch on your wrist? I said, I'm a student of knowledge. I have to say, I do not know. Why? He said, maybe it's haram. Ya akhi, don't say maybe. As long as you have the doubt, cast the doubt away. We have what is certain. What is certain? That everything we see is halal, because this is al-bara'a al-asliyah, the original permissibility, roughly translated. So when someone says, what's the ruling on keeping birds in a cage? Halal. Why isn't this torture? This is being unkind to the bird. We said that this is not harming the birds, because we slaughter the birds and eat them. Otherwise we will not eat any meat, and we will not take any plantation or fruits because we're harming the tree. No, everything is halal for us. What's the ruling on putting fish in an aquarium? That's no problem. This is halal. If you have a reason to think it's haram, you have to provide your evidence. So what's the ruling on buying a dog? It's halal. No, wait. It's haram. Why? Because we have evidence. We have dalil from the sunnah. What's the ruling on buying lizards? Lizards, we are supposed to kill them. You know the house lizards, the small lizards? The Prophet told us, if you hit them once and kill them with one strike, Allah will give you how many? 100 good deeds. You know, they're very fast and they're very ugly. Sometimes, you know, I saw grown-up men afraid of small lizards. So if you hit it once but it doesn't die, and you hit it twice, it dies, you get less and less. Why? Why don't we like lizards? Because they're ugly? No. Even if they were beautiful and had makeup on, we will still kill it. Why do we hate lizards? Anyone? Yes.
There is a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari which says that when Ibrahim ﷺ was put into the fire, all the animals gathered together to extinguish the fire except for the lizard. it was trying to blow the fire more.
Yes, this is correct. Very good. The lizard was trying to do this to who? To our messenger, Ibrahim. And this shows you that our religion is not based on ethnicity or on color or on race or on nationality. Our love and hate is based on the Quran and the Sunnah. So those who are enemies to Ibrahim are enemies to us. Those who are enemies to Musa, to Eesa, Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, they are enemies to us. Those who are enemies to Allah, they are enemies to us. And those who are allies to Allah and to the Messenger ﷺ and to the Muslims, they are allies to us as well. Very good. So, selling such a thing is haram because we are ordered to kill it. Now one says, okay, let's see, what about cats? Can we buy and sell cats? And the answer is, there is an issue of dispute. There is a hadith in Sahih al-Imam Muslim where the Prophet ﷺ forbade even the price of the cat. Not because the cat is najis, on the contrary, the cat is tahir, it's pure. And it's completely permissible to keep a cat in your house, to raise it. It's sometimes beneficial because it eats mice and insects. But buying it and selling it is not permissible because the hadith stated that it is not permissible. Again, how can we raise cats? You have cats in your home. They have little kittens. You can give them away as a gift. And a lot of the people do this, alhamdulillah. We have a short break. Stay tuned. And inshallah, we'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. The second thing that the Prophet forbade ﷺ is the price of a prostitute. And we know that fornication is a major sin. And it's any illegal sexual act, intercourse between two who are not permitted to have this. And the Prophet said ﷺ that what a prostitute earns is haram and it's not permissible. And we all know this by default. So one would say, why mention this? So that the Prophet shows you that even if someone says or claims that she's in need, she has to feed herself, this is not permissible even if she dies out of starvation. Though there is difference opinion among scholars whether if a woman was stranded and she was about to die and she would not be allowed to eat or to drink unless she commits this heinous act and sin, in this case it is permissible for her because saving her life, protecting her life is more important than anything else, especially in such a case. And of course this is hypothetical, alhamdulillah. Muslims inshallah don't fall in such major sin that would make them among the filthy few who commit such a heinous sin. The third thing in the hadith, the Prophet forbade from the cost or the fee of a kahin. And in the Arabic it's called hulwan, meaning that it's something sweet, easy to come. Why is it called hulwan? Because is the priest or the kahin or the soothsayer or the fortune teller, is he doing effort? He's just sitting there. You have very dark future or you have a very beautiful future. You will get married inshallah to a rich woman, or you will going to get divorced, or you will going to die in few years time. He's not doing anything, he's just selling talk. So the Prophet said that this is like sweets because it doesn't involve any word. And the Prophet tells us that whatever you take for such an act is completely prohibited. Not only that, pretending or predicting the future is shirk, because only Allah knows the future, and it is considered to be one of the major sins depending on your belief. It can be a major sin to believe a fortune teller or a soothsayer, and it can be kufr and shirk. The Prophet tells us ﷺ, whoever goes to a priest or to a fortune teller, Allah will not accept 40 days of prayer from him. In another hadith, whoever goes to a fortune teller or to a priest, someone who predicts, he has disbelieved in the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have two punishments. One, Allah will not accept 40 prayers. The second, Allah would nullify your Islam altogether. When would this take place and when would that take place? Scholars say, if a person goes without believing, then Allah will not accept 40 days of prayer. Example, those who read the zodiac, the signs. What is your sign? He said, my sign is, I'm Scorpion. I am this, I am that. Okay, if someone every morning opens a newspaper and says, oh, don't go out today, there will be an accident. And he said, wallahi, ya akhi, this is nonsense. I don't believe in this. And he goes to work. Reading it means that Allah will not accept prayers of you 40 days. Just reading it. You did not believe. Now one says, okay, if Allah is not going to accept the prayers of 40 days, alhamdulillah, why should I pray? Khalas, for 40 days, I will sit, no fajr, no maghrib, nothing. I will not pray. He said, wait. But if you pray, Allah will not reward you, but you will still be a Muslim. So watch out. The other person reads the zodiacs and it says that there will be an accident, don't go to work. And says, I'm not going out today. Why? Because they said that there will be an accident. No one knows the future. Says, no, no, no. They said there will be an accident, I will not go. This is shirk. Whoever does this nullified his Islam and Iman. So this is a very dangerous thing that we all should be careful not to fall into, inshallah. I think that we will take few questions in the remaining time because we don't have time for the following hadith. Any questions? Yes, Akhi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
My question is that why is it allowed to gift the animal, that is the cat or the dog, but it is not allowed to sell or buy the animal?
Okay, very good question. Now there is a difference between necessity and normal life. A person who has a dog, he is not forced to sell it. He has something that he is allowed to use if needed. If he doesn't need it, he has to get rid of it. Now, when he has, or when he gets puppies, selling it is haram because of the hadith. For me, buying it is haram if I can find it elsewhere. No, I'd like this one. I love the color of this one. No, this one, my friend, my neighbor, can give me another puppy, but it's a different breed, a different color. Say, I don't like the color, I like this one. This is not necessity. This is a luxury. So if I look around, Akhi, I need a shepherd dog. I need a dog. Anyone has a puppy? Anyone has a dog to give me for free? May Allah reward him. And no one is willing to. But the brother has, another brother has, and they say, we want money. Akhi, it's haram to sell. Haram between you and Allah. For me, I want money. I don't care. Astaghfirullah, you don't care? Yes. I look around, I can't find anyone to give me the dog, and I need the dog. And I'm entitled to have a dog. In this case, it becomes halal for you. Like in the case of wudu water. I don't have water, and the person that has water is not willing to give it to me for free. He's sinful. Now, am I obliged to buy water? Yes. I have to make wudu. And the water is available, but I have to pay for it. Then I will have to pay for it. He's sinful and I'm rewarded. So I hope this answers your question. Yes, Kareem.
Sheikh, what is the ruling on using the wild animals in the zoos as well as in circus as an amusement, buying and selling them?
Well, again, we have to go to the 7 conditions of selling them. Is buying them something of amusement? The answer is yes. Now, does the lions and tigers fall under the same category of the dog? It's an issue of dispute, because some say that they all share the characteristic of having teeth and having claws, etc. And some say that the hadith specifically mentioned the dog, and this is the most authentic to my knowledge and opinion. Now, is having a circus something permissible, or it's just a waste of money, waste of time, lots of haram things involved? This is definitely the case. Having a circus, is it something useful? It is entertaining, but is this kind of entertainment halal? In the sense, spending that much time and spending that much money. I'm not talking about the mixing of the genders and the nudity and the music. All of this is haram by default. But if someone is not doing this as part, this is not something considered to be useful. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ used to seek refuge in Allah from 4 things, among them knowledge that is not beneficial. وَعِلْمٍ لَا يَنْفَعُ. This is ilm la yanfa, to train a lion or to train an elephant, or what kind of amusement a Muslim would pay money to watch and allow others to do this for him. Therefore, to me, I do not believe that this is permissible. Now, in the case of a zoo, it might be permissible because in a zoo, it's something educational. When you take your children, when you take the school to a zoo and show them the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, this might have value, and it would be like having birds in a cage. Entertainment with education and to value Allah's creation. So, inshallah, this would be permissible, providing that the other criterias can be included, and that is, what is halal, what is haram. Unless there is an evidence that states that this is not permissible, then in this case, inshallah, we have the original permissibility, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. I'm afraid that this is all the time we have. Until we meet next time, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.